What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers were an absolute dumpster fire in the previous game against the Detroit Pistons. Look, losses happen. I don't mind losses. Even to a bad team, they happen. It's part of the game. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. That's why you play 82 games, right? However, it's not that they lost. It's the manner in which they lost. They lost by giving zero effort, playing zero defense, right? They have just been terrible. And the Lakers really, need a trade, something I've talked about all offseason, leading into the season, that I believe that they need multiple moves, they need multiple trades. Could they still win a championship? Of course, right? Like, I think that they have a puncher's chance, but like I've maintained, I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't tell people, like, hey, guess what, Lakers? I just think that the Lakers lack and have a lot of issues. I think they have a lot of redundancies, particularly in that backcourt. I think you need another big man. Hopefully it's Walker Kessler, fingers crossed. And I think you need some athleticism and consistency. I really think, a bona fide third option could help a lot. Somebody like a Zach LaVine. That's why I'm so high on Zach LaVine, because even on a bad night, you know what you're going to get from him, right? D'Lo and Reeves, you don't know what you're going to get from them on a bad night, particularly with their shooting, the inconsistencies and the roller coasters. And it's just, until we can get that resolved, which I'm not saying you have to make a trade right this second, right? Because again, I know people freaking out, get a trade last week, right? But nobody wants to work with us, right? And until that happens, you can't just make a trade just to make a trade. As much as everyone wants, as much as I want to trade, we still have to maintain patience. And it's frustrating, it sucks, right? And as long as we keep winning, it's fine, right? Because now you're not coming from a point of desperation. You're coming from a point of like, hey, we would like this, but we don't need this. Rather than right now, it's like, we need this. But the problem is that every team wants both first. I mean, even the Walker Kessler trade. We could get the Walker Kessler trade done right this second. But it would be Jalen Ojefino, which that's fine, but both first round picks. And as much as I like Walker Kessler, he's not worth the 2 firsts for one. And 2, him by himself, you just swap him with Jalen Ojefino, we don't now all of a sudden jump up to bona fide contender. Would it make us better? Yes, because it'd give us some production off the bench for one, for a guy that isn't giving you production, and gives us another big man. Kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. But one of the things that I've talked about is Jarred Vanderbilt in particular, right? And the potential of trading Jarred Vanderbilt. I love Jarred Vanderbilt. I am incredibly high on Jarred Vanderbilt. His impact, I think, is immeasurable at times. But the guy cannot stay healthy. He's had injury issues his entire career since he came into the league, right? And now he has foot surgery on both of his feet, and he's taking his time, which is fine, right? I said it when we first got the news, right? I'd rather him miss 20 games so he can play 62 games than play 20 games and end up missing 62 games. I'd rather go the precaution route. I'd rather go the safety route. But are the Lakers in a position to kind of take a gamble that he's going to be healthy and that he's going to be the guy that we need him to be? Not just that, when he comes back, how long does it take to come back? If he doesn't come back 20 games in, and it takes him another 20 games to kind of get back to Jarred Vanderbilt, sure, you have the back half of the season and then the playoffs if he can stay healthy, but he essentially is not the Jarred Vanderbilt we know and love till 40 games into the season. That could pose a problem in and of itself. But with Cam Reddish, right, and JJ Redick even talked and touched on Cam Reddish, said he really earned some trust in that Detroit Pistons game because he stepped up and defensively he was fantastic, right? Cam Reddish is like a serviceable, not even great, not even good, not even elite, just serviceable offensive game away from like being a really good player. Because defensively, he gives you everything you want. Size, length, athleticism, foot speed. He is like what you need on the defense side of things. Doesn't give you offense. But neither does Jarred Vanderbilt. Now look, Jarred Vanderbilt, both guys healthy, I would take Jarred Vanderbilt all day, right? I just think he not only is better defensive, I mean, you're talking about arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA in Jarred Vanderbilt. Also, his ability to keep balls alive, just kind of the way he reads the floor, track down loose balls and stuff, right? Like, I like Jarred Vanderbilt more than Cam Reddish. And I'm a big Cam Reddish guy. If you've been part of this channel for the last few years, even before we got Cam Reddish, I was huge on going and getting Cam Reddish. I really like Cam Reddish. And he's 24 years old. So he's still young enough to where you can continue to grow and develop him, and probably on the cheap, because teams aren't going to be lining up to sign him to a big contract. So you probably got him for the cheap. The thing is if Cam Reddish can continue to show, you need to see the consistency. I imagine J.J. Redick probably plays him more, particularly over Gabe Vincent and even arguably Max Christie. I'd probably stick with Max Christie still, right? I'd give Cam Reddish's minutes over Gabe Vincent right now because Gabe Vincent's giving you nothing, right? And I know people are really low on Max Christie, but he's 21 years old. Let him develop. Also, he went from no role and just basically not even like part of the rotation, if hardly, to we need you to be the sixth best player every single night on the basketball court, right? That's a huge leap for anybody. And so I would still be patient with Max Christie and see if he can kind of evolve. I'm not saying he's untradeable, right? If the right trade comes along, you trade him. But I don't want to see him fall out of the rotation in place of Cam Reddish. I would rather you go with Cam Reddish over Gabe Vincent because, again, he's been terrible shooting the three ball. I mean, he's giving you goose eggs, right? Max Christie gave you more production in 4 minutes of action last night than Gabe Vincent did in 17, almost 18 minutes of action. I'd rather go with Max Christie, who's younger, cheaper, and all that. But if Cam Reddish can continue to show you the defense in particular, we saw that last season. Biggest problem with Cam Reddish is health. Can he stay healthy, right? But you have that same argument with Jarred Vanderbilt. If Cam Reddish can continue to show you what you need to see as far as the defensive side of things goes and kind of just being an assignment guy, right? He's not a guy I'd want to play 25, 30 minutes a game, but just on assignment, like, 16 minutes a game, 4 minutes a quarter. Your assignment is that guy, Steph, Ant, whoever, and you just put all your energy, all your effort into just trying to slow them down as much as possible. Give it, rebound as well as you can, give us some form of offense if you can, whatever, right? Get him actually, assimilated to the offense and rotation. If he can do that, I really think that makes Jarred Vanderbilt expendable, even though I'd rather have Jarred Vanderbilt over Cam Reddish. The difference is that a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt is making $10.5 million or $10 million. Cam Reddish is making like $2.5 million. And you can use that $10 million to go get a more versatile piece, right? You don't need both of them, right? You don't need, because neither guy is good to serviceable offensively. So having both of them is another redundancy because you have two guys that, yes, can give you some excellent defense. And again, Jarred Vanderbilt I'd rather have, but we have so many needs on this roster. I'd rather trust Cam Reddish to be that defensive assignment guy and use Jarred Vanderbilt's salary, let another team kind of use him and take the gamble on him and bring in a piece that we actually need. Again, I love Jarred Vanderbilt, but the Lakers have so many needs. We need athleticism out on the perimeter, but not just a defensive athletic guy. We need somebody that can provide and play both sides of the basketball. Ideally, a point guard, right? Like if you can turn Jarred Vanderbilt and D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, whatever else, into like a Bruce Brown and a Jeremy Grant or a Bruce Brown and a Cam Johnson and still go get like a Walker Kessler at some point, now I think the Lakers can move into that contention status. And you still have a guy in Cam Reddish who can slot in and be that defensive assignment guy and just wear guys down over a season or a playoff series. I would prefer that. Again, as much as I like Jarred Vanderbilt and as impactful as he is, gives you no offense, not in the traditional sense at least. He does impact on live ball turnovers, just turnovers in general, keeping balls alive, right? He can be that athletic slasher role man, but Cam Reddish can do a lot of that same stuff. And I think if you put him in that position, I do think he can have some success. I don't know about to the level of Jarred Vanderbilt, but you're not just unloading Jarred Vanderbilt, right? You're not just salary dumping Jarred Vanderbilt. No, the idea is to turn Jarred Vanderbilt into a more serviceable two-way guy. Like I said, a Cam Johnson or something like that. A guy that can come in, or even a Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Somebody that can come in and play that defense. Again, maybe not as well as Jarred Vanderbilt, but will be better offensively. So you just get better overall balance than like one guy's here and the offense is here. You get what I'm saying? Like you just get that more stable option in player. I would rather go that route. But I want to see kind of how Cam Reddish continues to form in this offense under JJ Redick. We saw what he did with Darvin Ham, and look, he was excellent defensively with Darvin Ham. It was just the injury issues, right? So one, can he stay healthy, right? Because that's still the same concern with Jarred Vanderbilt. Can Jarred Vanderbilt stay healthy? So you have the risks on both of them. It's just one guy's making $10 million a year, another guy's making $2.5 million a year or whatever he's making, and vet minimum, right? He's making that because vet minimums vary based on the years and experience, but he's making like $2.5 million a year, right? And if you re-sign him, like let's say he does pan out, he does work out, you're not giving him more than a vet minimum, right? So you're probably giving him another 2-year vet minimum to kind of continue to play that role. Where Jarred Vanderbilt, you still have several more years, $10 million. I'd rather get off of that and go get a guy, or go get a Valanciunas if you can't get a Walker Kessler. You just swap those two, right? Maybe throw a second or something, or maybe Washington just really likes the idea of Jarred Vanderbilt, right? Like, and they're willing to take a chance because they're a bad team, right? So maybe you can do something like that. I just think that would be the better route, better approach. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, yes, Cam Reddish could potentially make the loss of Jarred Vanderbilt and a potential trade kind of more digestible, right? You kind of stomach that better? Or do you think, no, like you got to keep Jarred Vanderbilt regardless, get rid of Cam Reddish? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.